Hello everyone, and welcome to our conversation today. Now, whether you're joining me live or perhaps catching the replay, I am just so super excited that you've taken a few minutes of your time to be here. And so, as we begin, I would like to ask you just to take a deep breath with me because today's conversation is really going to be about building something that lasts, something that is aligned, something that doesn't really require you to abandon yourself in the process of building it, but it is still going to be a deep conversation that will require other things of you. It's not going to be about hustling harder. It's not going to be about proving. It's not going to be about chasing, but more so, it's going to be about alignment. And so, if you're building a business right now, whether you're an entrepreneur, a consultant, a creative, a service provider, or someone who is still in the early stages of figuring it all out, I want you to know that because you haven't gotten it all right as yet does not mean that you're failing. Feeling uncertain does in no way mean that you've chosen the wrong path or that you are not sure of what you're doing. Sometimes it just means that you may be stuck. It may mean that you've outgrown the way that you have been building in the past. And it's time to shift your focus to a bit of a more intentional approach. Now, many people, including me, start businesses because we want freedom. We want freedom of time, freedom of income, freedom to make an impact in a way that feels meaningful. I am one of those people who cannot just be boxed in. But somewhere along the line, when we're trying to build that business in search of freedom, that freedom actually becomes replaced with pressure. It's pressure to make more, pressure to post more, pressure to sell more, pressure to be visible, even when you're running on empty. And what I've learned both professionally and personally is that sustainability does not come from doing more. It actually comes from building smarter, deeper, and with more clarity. One of the most important mindset shifts any entrepreneur has to make is understanding that a strong business is not built on urgency. They are built on trust. Relationships are the core of business. And so, whether you're selling a product, a service, or whether you're building your personal brand, people are not just buying what you do. They are buying how safe it is to work with you. They are buying your consistency. They are buying your credibility and integrity and your ability to deliver without chaos. As a matter of fact, they are buying into your ability to give more value than they actually paid for. And that's something that I often talk about when it comes to corporate partnerships, but it really applies to every business. And I created a workbook around landing high ticket clients. And it's just not just about corporate. At its core, this workbook is about alignment, research, positioning, and relationship building. And those are all principles that matter no matter the industry that you're in. Building a business that lasts requires patience. You have to be in it for the long haul. It requires us to stop chasing every opportunity. It requires us to stop chasing everyone. It requires us to start choosing more intentionally who we are supposed to serve. We're not here for everyone. We're not here to serve everyone. And that's why it's important for us to really figure out who our avatar is. Too many entrepreneurs are exhausted because they are trying to find something that matches everyone. And they're trying to be everything to everyone. But clarity creates ease. And I hope that sentence resonates with you. And if it does, I encourage you to type it in the chat in the chat for me. When you know who your work is for, how it helps that person, and why your work matters, your messaging becomes stronger and your energy, it becomes a whole lot more focused. Now, one of the first exercises I encourage people to do is to dream intentionally, not vaguely. Many of us have generalized dreams, but When we take it a little bit deeper and get it to be a little bit more intentional, we're asking ourselves questions like, who do we really want to work with? Who are the clients, the customers, or the partners that feel really aligned with our values and our capacity? That's why when you are an entrepreneur, you are primed to make the right decisions about how you are going to align yourself. Now, many times when we sit on corporate jobs, we may not be able to be in complete alignment. Let's just be real. When we're working in corporate, we're working for a salary. We're working because there are bills to be paid, there are children to be fed, there's fees that need to be paid. Many of us have had meantime situations, jobs where we were just really working to make money. But being an entrepreneur now really helps us to reposition that. It gives us the opportunity to do meaningful work that's aligned with what our values are, what our beliefs are. And so that's just not about prestige or about optics. It's really about having the right people to serve, and business feels collaborative when we do that instead of draining. Now, once you have that clarity, it's time to do a bit of research because, again, the blueprint for a business requires that we take the time to really research. And this isn't just about corporate clients for those of us who are coaches or trainers or work with corporate individuals. Entrepreneurs should really know who their audience is. They should know their audiences deeply. I may say this a million times during this conversation tonight, but relationships are at the core of business. And so, if you want to truly serve your clients, building that relationship is key. What are their challenges? What do they value? What have they already tried that did not work? When you understand this, you stop generic work. You stop just being general, and your language stops being just so generalized that it fits everyone, that it starts to become more specific and you could speak directly to the real needs of the clients who are your avatars. And when you do that, your confidence grows. Your confidence grows because you're taking the time to research, to know, and connect with your ideal client. What I find is that another area where many business owners underestimate is the personal brand. Now, I know this phrase gets overused a lot. People talk about personal brand, personal brand, personal brand, but it's not about popularity. It's not about being an influencer. It's not about surface level. It's not about aesthetics. Your brand is really your reputation. Like, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. That's your personal brand. It is the experience that people have when they interact with you. It's how you communicate. It's how you follow through. It's how you show up consistently over time. Your personal brand and your business brand are intertwined. There's no separating it, whether you realize it or not. And so when I do my leadership training classes and even my customer service classes, one of the things that I teach participants is when you wear your company's uniform, you are representing your company's brand, whether you are at work or not, because your personal brand is now tied to your company's brand. And so the personal brand is something that speaks to your reputation at the core of you. What are people seeing? Like, when people interact with you, what are they feeling? And people want to do business with other people that they trust. And so if you're building a business, people are watching how you interact with other people. They're watching how you handle pressure. They're watching how you speak about other people. They're watching how you honor your word. They're watching to see if you are trustworthy. And once that trust is established, it opens a door that you no longer have to try to force open. They can now take you at your word. And that's why becoming known as the expert in your field matters more than going viral. Expertise is what creates longevity. So don't worry about going viral on social media. Don't worry about your influencer, all these different things. Stay focused on becoming the expert in your industry. And when you are the expert in your industry, I guarantee you that people will come for you. Now, I want to talk about how important it is to give value before asking for a commitment. And this principle is one that applies across all industries. When people experience the quality of your work, your insight, your service before they are really asked to invest deeply, their resistance to you softens. This is a strategy that I wish many entrepreneurs embrace. Now, this doesn't mean that you should overgive or you should work free endlessly. It means that you should be strategic and generous in a way that builds confidence in what you offer. I vividly remember sitting at my desk maybe about just over 9 years ago in my last corporate job thinking, I'm done with this. I'm literally sitting at my desk, staring at my computer screen, thinking to myself, I am so done with this. And as I sat there thinking, I'm so done with a 9 to 5, I'm ready to have freedom. I'm ready to have flexibility. I'm ready to be outside of the box. I'm ready to use my creative juices. I'm tired of my hands being shackled. I'm tired of policies that are misaligned with what my values are as a customer service professional. I am tired of not being able to really move the culture because of the stringent rules and regulations. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted of being in this rat race. And what can I do? And so I made a plan. This is so important, ladies and gentlemen, that we craft and create a plan for how we want to leave our corporate business to step into entrepreneurship or even a small business. And so what I decided was I would work for an organization free of charge for 1 solid year. And I remember working for a company every month, 1 hour a month, where I delivered supervisory training for that organization free of charge. I remember it like night and day. Just as I'm sitting here, I can vividly remember the thought coming into my head saying, you should reach out to this particular individual and offer your services. And I did that on my vacation. I took 1 day a month vacation and I went to this business where I trained their supervisors, managers, and leaders for 1 single year, which was only 12 times. However, I invested my time into that organization and into building their leaders. And there were people who said, oh, DeCosta, you're crazy for training for free. You're crazy for not getting a stipend or a payment. And they just couldn't see the vision that I saw so clearly. One was that I was about to make a defining decision about my future. I was about to leave my corporate 9 to 5 and step into a business that I would be fully responsible for my own cheese. And that required some collaboration. And so I decided that I would practice my skills as a trainer by offering my services free of charge for 1 year, 12 times that year, 1 time a month to this organization so that their supervisors could benefit from the training. But I also got to benefit from honing my skills, practicing my skills, because it is said to take 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert at something. And so I saw this as an opportunity for me to build my connection skills, to build my communication skills, to test out the theory with the practical. So for me, it was a no-brainer. And today, when I share that with entrepreneurs, they're like, oh, I'm not working for anybody for free. But it was not technically for free. Because can I tell you that by being able to showcase the quality of my work, my insight, taking the theory and bringing it to life with practical, and helping the supervisors and managers learn new habits that they took into their workplace and make changes, that actually resulted in that exact same organization hiring me to do training the year that I stepped away from my corporate job. And NASA Airport Development Company was that company that gave me the opportunity to practice and hone my skills for a year. It was a partnership for me to teach, for them to learn, And then when I left my corporate job, they were the ones that provided me with training opportunities, paid training opportunities for their staff. And so my brand began to build from I was practicing, from I was becoming an expert in my field, from my dedicated 12 sessions that year to that organization. And as a result of different referrals, my business began to grow. I'm also going to share that I feel that that first year after I stepped away from my 9 to 5, had I not had that foundational relationship with that organization, my first year would have been so much more difficult. And so when I talk about giving value before asking for commitment, it's okay to let people test your services. You can decide that I'm going to do 3 speaking engagements free in a year. You can decide that I'm going to do 1 balloon arrangement free just so they could see. You could decide that I'm going to give a free basket of my natural soaps, whatever you do. You can decide how you are going to pitch your offering in a way that showcases that it's a no-brainer to select you. So that means that you have to be strategic, but also it shows generosity in a way that builds confidence in whatever it is that you offer. And then as your business grows, we want to think beyond single transactions. Sustainability comes from creating packages, systems, and experiences that allow people to work with you more deeply over time. Many times we want people to go in deep first without truly knowing us. It's not until that relationship is building that they're going to be willing to take more and more and more and more of a risk by getting deeper into that relationship with you. So you don't want to just upsell for the sake of it. You want to solve problems. People will hire problem solvers. If an organization has a problem and you have the solution, then you're halfway in the door, because people are looking for solutions to their problems. And so when your work creates real transformation, people return over and over again. And then they refer other people to you. And that's what I've experienced in my business. I have been a full-time entrepreneur now for 8 years. And a lot of my business is by referral. And it's because I give more value than that is anticipated or expected. It's because I've already established a brand of having a highly engaging training session when I do corporate training, or even any of the other events that I have. There is a certain quality attached to that people have come to know they will receive as a result of participating in a Dequessadine event. And so referrals, relationships, and reputation are really some of the most powerful forms of marketing. Yes, you could have a social media marketer. Yes, you could have someone managing your marketing, your public relations, all of that. But at the end of the day, referrals, relationships, and reputations, and your reputation is going to take you so much further than your social media marketing firm can. When people trust you, they talk about you. When they talk about you positively, your business grows without you constantly having to chase visibility. You hear me say it over and over and over again. I do not chase, I align. And when we get into alignment, we're able to now connect with people on deeper levels, and those relationships build. And over time, you have more business than you even anticipated. And what I want to leave you with today is that building a business requires that you come out of survival mode. Many people are building businesses from with a lot of trauma still in their chest wall, if you understand what I'm saying. And so when we come out of survival mode, we're no longer doing things because people told us that we wouldn't amount to anything, or because we want to prove to somebody that we are someone. We were born worthy. Those things that happen to us during the course of our lives that cause us to question our self-esteem and our self-worth need healing, because we have to grow, we have to evolve. When we're still trying to build from a place of negativity, of trauma, when we're so worried about our haters, when we're concentrated on who we think may be jealous of us, when we're out here spewing foolishness on social media about who watching us. That's time that you could take to literally be building relationships that count. So choose alignment over survival. Choose alignment over exhaustion. But it requires that you really get to know who you are and to heal the trauma that's tying you down. The most successful businesses are truly built by people who understand that success is not just income. Success is also capacity, peace, and purpose. And for me, success is just not about the dollar value. Success is that I get to choose. I get to choose the time that I work. I get to choose to put my family first. I get to choose the hours that I work. I get to choose how much I will get. I get the power of choice. And so, yes, I get paid, but at the end of the day, I'm not a slave to the dollar. Otherwise, I may as well have just stayed in the corporate organization. And so, if you'd like more support with clarifying your next steps and really figuring out how to strengthen your position or how to build your goals or build your dreams in a way that honors who you are as an individual and your well-being, I invite you to book a complimentary call. We can talk it through. I will be happy to coach you through it, help you build that blueprint, help you with any underlying issues that may need to be released so that you can rise, because these sessions are designed to help you identify what is working, what needs to shift, and how to move forward with confidence and clarity. So that's a wrap for me today, folks. Thank you so much for spending the last few minutes with me. If this conversation resonated with you in any way, if you feel anyone could benefit from it, please share it with someone who is building. It may even be someone who is building quietly and faithfully and may feel like they're not getting anywhere and need a little nudge. And then subscribe to my channel so that we can continue having open, honest conversations about growth, about purpose, and about sustainable success. I look forward to supporting you as you build your business and as you seek to truly build a sustainable business without burning out, without chasing, and without confusion. Until next time.